Kevin Nash shares a sincere message on NWO's 25-year anniversary, Finn Balor sends a message to The Rock, and Vince McMahon praises released WWE Superstar. Hello everyone, Jose G here bringing you today's top stories in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling News Roundup. To stay up to date with all of our content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Kevin Nash shares a sincere message on NWO's 25-year anniversary. Despite a long list of accolades to his name, Kevin Nash is best known for his stint in NWO. To this day, it remains one of the greatest factions of all time, taking WCW to new heights, breathing life into the Monday Night Wars, and changing the industry. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan created a movement that transcended TV screens and garnered a following beyond comprehension. The stable was formed by Hogan, was revealed as the third man at Bash at the Beach on July 7, 1996. Hogan sided with the Outsiders, leg dropped Savage, and turned heel as the three officially formed the NWO. On July 7, 2021, fans are celebrating 25 years of the NWO. Kevin Nash took to Twitter to reminisce on his thoughts about the faction, saying, quote, "Happy 25 years of setting the standard. Most importantly, happy 25th to the NWO Nation for being there the entire trip and passing it on to your family and children. One love, NWO for life. Wear your colors and show your numbers," end quote. Following the end of the ratings war after WWE bought WCW, NWO was introduced in WWE. Its first feud against the two biggest stars of the Attitude Era, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Scott Hall went head-to-head with Steve Austin while The Rock faced off against Hulk Hogan in one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time, both at WrestleMania X8. NWO was booked in another prominent storyline over the next few months and given great importance. It was set to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2020, but things couldn't go as planned due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, it was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2021. WWE is celebrating NWO's run this week throughout various outlets, including The Bump, where members of the faction will be interviewed and featured for fans. Finn Balor sends a message to The Rock. NXT Superstar Finn Balor had a message for The Rock in his latest tweet, which included a throwback photo. The throwback picture shows a young Finn Balor hanging out with his friends and rocking the Great Ones t-shirt. Balor is also sporting a fanny pack, which many fans pointed out in their replies to his tweet. Longtime fans of The Rock might remember the WWE legend's iconic picture from the mid-90s in which he can be seen wearing a fanny pack. Finn Balor had the following to say to The Rock in his tweet, saying, quote, "If you smell what a very young Finn Balor was cooking, at The Rock," end quote. The Rock was one of the biggest WWE superstars during the late 90s, and his popularity only grew as the years passed. He later made his way into Hollywood and is currently the highest paid actor in the world. The Rock is a multiple-time WWE champion and is bound to enter the WWE Hall of Fame at some point. Finn Balor isn't the only top name who was a big fan of The Rock back in the day. Several top stars of today's era have spoken about how The Rock was instrumental in wanting them to make a name for themselves in the pro wrestling business. Former WWE superstar Mojo Rawley recently said that the majority of professional wrestlers want to be The Rock. Former women's champion Becky Lynch has worked with The Rock in the past and called it a dream come true. The Rock still has a soft spot for the wrestling business and occasionally interacts with current wrestlers on social media. Killian Dain gives an honest opinion on his wife's Nikki Cross's new gimmick after WWE release. Nikki Cross has been re-christened as the lively superhero Nikki Ash on Raw, and the new creative direction has predictably received polarizing reactions from the fan base. While Nikki Cross will have to battle a few critics to get her new act over, it's heartening to learn that the former Sanity member has an unconditional support from her husband, Killian Dain. The latter recently appeared on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Unscripted with Dr. Chris Featherstone. Killian Dain, also known as Big Damo, was recently released from the WWE, and he sat down for an insightful Q&A session with the Sportskeeda Wrestling universe, where he spoke about his wife, new on-screen persona. Killian Dain loved Nikki Cross's new character, as it was the perfect antithesis of her gimmick on the indies. Nikki Cross portrayed a crazy and evil villain most of her career, and Dain noted that the former character didn't have an extended shelf life. Here is what the former WWE Superstar Killian Dain had to say to our very own Dr. Chris Featherstone in this Sportskeeda Wrestling exclusive.
The new gimmick, Nikki's new gimmick. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I adore it. So what a lot of people don't know, like on the indies before this, Nikki was a very evil villain, shall we say? So it's brilliant to see her doing the antithesis of that with the hero gimmick.
Yeah.
Listen, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. Me personally, I love it. It's an opportunity for her to be a positive character, a positive force in like, she is a bit of a dork. She is like an excitable person full of determination, and so you're literally getting like the closest we can get to Nicola that is possible, but we've also put the mask on and everything else. So no, I'm very, very excited for what's going to happen next for Nikki, because listen, the hardest part with all of this is, you're always going to have people say, oh, we loved Sanity Nikki and whatever else, but Sanity Nikki had a shelf life. There's only so far she could go with it. We appreciate that everybody loved it so much, but like, there was no legs to it. Like, it only goes so long, because how long can a person be crazy? It's like, okay, you're crazy, woo, and then what next? So this is awesome. And listen, I hope this can get a couple of years, because I think it could really, like, for people down the line, for little girls, little boys, it's a cool, colorful character to enjoy. Because I know when I grew up watching wrestling, that's what drew me in. Was the colorful characters and the fun, the silliness. So fingers crossed for it.
You can watch the full interview with Killian Dain and Dr. Chris Featherstone exclusively on our YouTube channel. Cameron Grimes reacts to becoming a butler after losing at NXT Great American Bash. NXT presented the Great American Bash, which featured several exciting matches for the Black and Gold brand. One of those matches included LA Knight defending his newly $1 million championship against Cameron Grimes. However, the stakes were high for the bout, as the stipulation stated that if Grimes lost, he would have to become Knight's butler. Both men delivered one of the best matches of the night and pushed each other to their absolute limit. While Grimes gave his all in an attempt to uphold Ted DiBiase Sr.'s legacy, unfortunately it wasn't enough. The end of the match saw the action spill to the ringside, where Knight delivered a DDT that spiked Grimes right on the $1 million title. While Cameron was able to escape from being counted out, he walked straight into the $1 million champion's snapmare driver. Grimes later broke his silence on the internet and had an interesting reaction to being forced to become Knight's personal butler, saying, quote, $1 million butler, end quote. The whole storyline involving Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, and Ted DiBiase came together after the Hall of Famer announced on NXT that he was looking for a suitable person to uphold the legacy of the $1 million championship. The $1 million championship was then put on the line in a ladder match which saw Grimes and Knight pitted against one another at TakeOver in Your House 2021. Knight won the match, but on the next episode of the Black and Gold brand, he turned on DiBiase. Now that Grimes will be forced to become Knight's personal butler, it will be interesting to see what is next in line for him and the reigning $1 million champion. Over the past few months, Cameron Grimes has become a fan favorite of the NXT universe, and it'll be interesting to see how he functions as Knight's servant. Knight could have Grimes do all his dirty work, and we could see WWE recreate the historic Virgil Ted DiBiase storyline in NXT. Vince McMahon praises released WWE Superstar. Vince McMahon praised ex-WWE star Mojo Rawley for his athletic ability and also for his work ethic when he was part of WWE. The former Andre the Giant Memorial winner stated that he felt invigorated after receiving praise from Vince McMahon. Mojo Rawley transitioned to the world of pro wrestling in 2012 after playing football. He learned his trade in NXT before being called up to the main roster in 2016. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in 2017 at WrestleMania 33, which was his biggest accomplishment in WWE. In a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet, Mojo Rawley opened up about meeting with Vince McMahon, where the WWE chairman highlighted some of Rawley's best qualities, saying, quote, "I remember meeting with Vince one time. I felt pretty boosted after it. He sat me down and went, 'All right, You may be one of the best athletes in the company. You may be one of the strongest in the company. You have one of the best attitudes and one of the best work ethics. He literally went down the list of all these superlatives where I was number 1 or top 3. Then he was like, we just got to figure out what to do with you. I remember thinking to myself, I think you just said it. How do we not use that? There are so many things we could do with it. But you never know what's going on behind the scenes. End quote. The former WWE star stated that the wrestlers in the company have to constantly work hard to impress the people that matter in WWE. He also revealed that he pitched several ideas to WWE, but a lot of them didn't come to fruition. Mojo Rawley was released in April of 2021, bringing an end to his 9-year run with the company. WWE also let go of several superstars and backstage personnel last year following the pandemic. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling News Roundup. For more news stories and exclusive content, be sure to follow us on all social media. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.